And so I believe he made his first $1 million or so with the Tangley manufacturing company, and he parlayed that into, he got really interested in, I think he had a personal experience where, I don't know if it was his mother died, but somebody in his family died of cancer, and that got him going in that direction where he felt like if he could use his inventiveness to cure cancer, that would be something that would really contribute to the world. He took a holistic approach where modern medicine of the time was going more medication, surgery, and all other kinds of things. He railed against the American Medical Association. He called them the American Meat Cutters Association because they solved cancer by cutting. He was very energetic. He was very promotional. You can't dispute the fact that he gave a lot of people hope. Now, there is things that, you know, whether he was a charlatan or not, that probably has a lot to do with he made a lot of money. A lot of people died from cancer in those days, and nobody was probably solving the puzzle of cancer, and we still don't know what it is today. So I happen to personally believe that a holistic approach is better. A lot of the medications today and everything are just that. They treat the symptoms and don't really do anything to correct the root cause. And I think there's a lot to be said about providing hope for folks. In my personal opinion, you know, especially for something as devastating as cancer, you know, I don't have a personal, well, I did have a stepfather that died of cancer. It was 6 months of hopelessness, chemotherapy, and watching this man go from like this, you know, this very tall figure truck driver, very strong, to, you know, he looked like a Holocaust victim in 6 months. You know, Easter, it was set around the family table. Mike has cancer, and by Christmas he was gone, and that was just 6 months of no hope, you know. And regardless of what he did, what Norman Baker did with his patients, successfully or not, he at least gave them hope.
Nice, yeah, that's well put.
If you look at what doctors do today with cancer, they're still experimenting. You know, there is no cure for cancer. And that, you know, and Norman Baker was working in a day almost 100 years ago. You know, how much more wild and leading edge was it back then compared to today? It meant that the money's not in prevention. It's not even in the cure. Today's is all about prescribing you to hide the symptoms and keep you coming back for that $50 a week prescription. You know, that's where the money, that seems to me where the money is now. They don't really cure it. They just treat the symptoms, make you feel a little bit better, and you keep buying that pill until you die.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like today we just know that folks are going to die of cancer, and the doctor, he never promises a cure. You know, they always say you have, you know, maybe a 40% chance likelihood if you take this treatment, and this one's a little bit more risky, and it's, you know, we don't know what the odds are. I've got a stepbrother that would be, you know, Mike's son, who has a skin cancer in his lungs, which I would think is lung cancer. But anyway, he's going into some very radical treatments that are, you know, considered to be, you know, you don't even want, you know, the kind of stuff you do out in Mexico and stuff like that. And, you know, and I can imagine folks that are just that desperate coming here to Muscatine or going down to Eureka Springs to see Norman, because he's the guy that says it's curable. He's the only one, you know, and where everybody else is kind of pulling their punches and saying, well, you know, I can make you more comfortable, and, you know, and we don't know what it is. And he's like, it is curable, you know, and I think you can say that today. It is curable. We just don't know how to do it yet. You got like Billy the Kid, Jesse James, and all these folks that really went out and killed people, deliberately stole their money. We're blatant about it. We're very straightforward about it. I am killing, you know, I am a killer, I'm a robber, I'm a bad guy. And then you got somebody like Norman Baker who is vilified the way he is. You know, it's kind of what you were talking about. Why we glorify these folks that were really, really bad. And then you got guys like Norman Baker where, you know, you don't know where he was at. All I can say is he gave a lot of people hope, or he wouldn't have had a lot of people coming there, you know. If you ever go down to Eureka Springs, I think that's the history, the history. Norman will be remembered for as being a pioneer of alternative medicines versus what he's painted here sometimes today.
Yeah, I like that.